If you want to be powerful in this world, truly powerful, you have to understand one thing first. The person who controls your emotions controls you. That's it, that's the game. And most people are losing that game before they even realize they're playing. Because if your peace depends on how they treat you, how they speak to you, what they post about you, whether or not they praise you, validate you, accept you, you're already a puppet. Their moods become your moods. Their chaos becomes your storm. Machiavelli wasn't just talking about political manipulation. He was talking about human nature. Emotional control is the pillar of strategic power. And at the core of that control is the ability to detach. Not in a way that makes you cold, robotic, or numb. It means detachment from emotional dependency. Detachment from outcome. Detachment from needing every situation to go your way in order to feel stable. When you can live without being emotionally enslaved to outcomes or people, you become untouchable. See, detachment isn't about not caring. That's where people mess this up. Detachment is about caring deeply, but never being consumed. It's holding space for emotion while refusing to be held hostage by it. It's having love without losing your balance. It's being passionate without being desperate. That's power. That's what makes you emotionally bulletproof. You're never frozen. You're focused. Most people are trained to believe that attachment is love, that sensitivity is strength, that complete emotional openness is the goal. But here's what they miss. When your emotions are flailing all over the place, when you're reacting to every high and low, you're not open. You're exposed. You are defenseless, not vulnerable. And in a world that rewards composure over chaos, you better believe that emotional exposure becomes a tool for exploitation. Detachment allows you to lead. It allows you to remain solid while everyone else crumbles under pressure. You don't get dragged into other people's dysfunction because you refuse to offer them that kind of access. You don't fall into guilt traps, manipulation games, or petty emotional wars because you've disconnected your identity from the need to be liked, agreed with, or constantly understood. Detachment makes everything sharper, not colder, sharper. You hear more, you say less, you observe longer. And when you finally move, it lands. It's not noise, it's precision. This is especially true in relationships. How many men lose their entire sense of self the moment a woman pulls away? How many people bend their standards just to avoid conflict, just to keep someone close, just to feel love when deep down they know it's not even healthy? That's attachment in disguise. That's emotional slavery hiding behind the mask of connection. And the Machiavellian mindset does not tolerate that. Not because it's heartless, but because it understands the long game. And in the long game, emotion is fuel, but never the driver. Start being intentional about where you invest emotionally. Every person you give your energy to is either helping you build your strength or weakening it. You don't owe access to everyone who demands it. And every second you spend being emotionally controlled by someone who hasn't earned your respect, that's a second you're handing over your power, piece by piece, moment by moment, until you're not even living for yourself anymore. You're reacting to them. So pull back, not because you're punishing the world, but because you need space to recalibrate your power. Detachment is breathing room, emotional air. It's where you stop asking, why are they doing this to me? And start pivoting your focus to, what can I control that strengthens me? You don't swing at every pitch. You don't flinch at every jab. You train yourself to stay grounded when storms rise. Because storms will rise. The question is whether you'll be swept away, or stand calmly at the center while it all passes. And that kind of calm presence that energy of unshakable stillness, that's what makes a man magnetic. It's not in the words, not in the flexes, it's in the behavior, the composure, the controlled power. People notice it, they feel it, they may not know what to call it, but they sense that you are different, that you are not owned by your emotions. You own them, make no mistake. This is a practice. You don't become emotionally bulletproof overnight. You train, you sharpen, you fail, and you recalibrate. You learn to pause before reacting. You learn to observe people before inviting them in. You learn to say no, not out of fear, but from clarity, and slowly you become less shaken, less drained, more dominant, more deliberate, because the world is watching one thing: how you carry yourself when things don't go your way. Anyone can be calm when it's sunny, but the man who stays grounded in the storm, who doesn't budge when provoked, who doesn't chase, overreach, or collapse under pressure, that man's not just respected, he's feared. Not for what he might do, but because no one can figure out what moves him. Detach, and you become the one thing no one can manipulate: yourself. In a world that runs on speed. Instant replies, instant gratification, instant outrage. The man who slows down is the man who stands out. The man who waits before he speaks, who breathes before he reacts, who chooses stillness while everyone else loses their minds. That man holds power most people will never understand, because the one who controls the tempo of a moment controls the outcome. That's not a tactic, it's a mindset, and it's what separates the emotionally reactive from the emotionally dominant. If you want to become emotionally bulletproof, the first thing you've got to understand is this: reactions are cheap. They're automatic, they're easy, anyone can snap, anyone can bark back, anyone can fire off a paragraph in anger or make impulsive decisions when their feelings are bruised. But that doesn't make you strong. That just makes you predictable. And predictable people are easy to manipulate. You raise your voice, you're exposed. You take the bait, you're dancing to someone else's tune. They say one thing, and you spiral emotionally for hours overthinking, arguing with yourself, crafting imaginary scenarios to win a game that doesn't even exist. And every time you react like that, you've handed over power without even realizing it. Power over your mood, power over your decisions, power over your direction. Machiavelli didn't write about peace and emotional regulation because he wanted people to feel good. He wrote about control. And let me tell you something, control doesn't go to the most emotional person in the room. It goes to the most composed. The one who can observe and plan while everyone else is busy trying to be heard. Mastering your reaction is like building a shield, not to block emotion out, but to filter it. Just because you feel something doesn't mean the world needs to witness it. Just because you're triggered doesn't mean you have to move. You're allowed to feel, you're allowed to want to scream, but power begins when you don't act until you're clear. You don't respond until it benefits you. You don't move until the outcome serves your bigger mission. This is where it gets real, because choosing to respond instead of react requires discipline, not passive silence, but precise inner authority. Anyone can hold back for a second, but few people can master the pause between stimulus and response. That's the battlefield most people refuse to fight on. But that's where everything changes. That pause is the space where your identity evolves. In that pause, you go from being emotionally hijacked to being a strategist, a tactician, a leader in your own mind. You've got to learn the power of patience, not in waiting for life to happen, but in controlling your own temperature. If someone disrespects you, the weak man lashes out to defend ego. The untouchable man assesses, he watches. He stores information, because sometimes silence makes a bigger statement than 1,000 loud words. And here's the plot twist. The one who stays quiet in the middle of madness is the loudest one in the room. His energy says everything. Women feel it. Men respect it. Enemies fear it. Why? Because that kind of stillness comes with unpredictability. And unpredictability equals power asterisk. When people can't predict your next move, they tread lighter. They speak differently. They wonder what's happening beneath the surface. That makes them uncomfortable. That gives you an edge. The moment people know how you'll react, they know how to control you. But when you observe, when you stay quiet, when you let the silence stretch before you speak, you change the rhythm. You own the rhythm. The rhythm becomes yours. And this doesn't mean you become passive. You're not tolerating disrespect or swallowing your voice. You're playing on a higher level. You're protecting your energy and choosing when and where to use your force. Because not every situation deserves your fire. Sometimes presence is the punishment. Sometimes walking away with your dignity intact is louder than any comeback. And sometimes the most Machiavellian thing you can do is nothing. It's in that restraint that people start to recalibrate how they interact with you. You become harder to read, harder to play, harder to shake, not because you're hiding, but because you've focused more on mastering yourself than proving anything to anyone else. That's what real presence is. People can feel it when you're not owned by your emotions. They trust you more. They test you less. The chaos around you starts to soften, not because it disappeared, but because it no longer affects you the same way. There's a dangerous kind of man out there, not dangerous in a threatening way, but in a powerful one. He doesn't overtalk, he doesn't overshare, he doesn't explode, and yet, when he speaks, people listen. When he moves, people watch. That man didn't get there by accident. He trained his mind to pause. He learned that the first reaction is rarely the right one. And he built the kind of internal strength that can't be provoked by shallow games or emotional noise. So ask yourself, the next time something lights a fire inside you, can you sit in the heat a little longer before you move? Can you master the pause? Because if you can, you'll find something stronger than rage or revenge. You'll find power. And not the kind that screams. The kind that silences rooms when you walk in. Respond with precision and you'll move through the world untouchable. Most people live their lives reacting to things they claim they didn't choose. They find comfort in the language of victimhood. Why does this always happen to me? Why does everyone treat me this way? Why can't I catch a break? It's a script. And like any script, if you repeat it long enough, you start to believe it's the only story that exists. But a Machiavellian mindset refuses that narrative. A man who seeks to become emotionally bulletproof doesn't accept the role of the victim. He claims authorship, not because everything is his fault, but because everything is his responsibility. The problem with victimhood is that it feels good. At first, it lets you off the hook. It gives you an excuse to stay put, to play small, to not challenge yourself. But every time you blame the world, circumstances, or other people for how you feel or where you are, you're giving them ownership of your mind. It's covert surrender. It's wrapped in rationalization and validation, but underneath it all is the truth. You've placed the pen in someone else's hand and told them to write your story. And until you rip it back, you'll keep getting the same results, because no one is coming. Ownership puts the pen back in your grip. It sounds ruthless. And it is. Because it means you stop looking for someone to save you and start asking what you can do about the situation. If you're disrespected, it's on you to create new standards. If you're misunderstood, it's on you to refine your communication. If your environment is draining you, it's on you to either change it or rise above it. This mindset isn't about shame. It's about control. You either own your emotions or they own you. There is no middle ground. Radical ownership means even the internal conflict becomes your responsibility. If something triggers you, you don't blame it. You examine it. Why did that get under your skin? What does that reveal about what you're still holding on to? Every emotional spike becomes data, not drama. You don't react like a victim. You respond like a strategist. There's a difference between saying, "They made me feel this way," and saying, "They did that and this is how I chose to respond." That shift is where your emotional armor starts forming. Because you're no longer outsourcing your power to people who aren't qualified to hold it. No woman, no friend, no enemy, no boss or stranger gets to dominate your internal world unless you open the gates. And when you realize that, you stop waiting for other people to act right. You stop exhausting yourself trying to change them. Instead, you redirect the energy back into yourself, your discipline, your focus, your boundaries, your standard. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you dangerous. Because most people are stuck in the loop of blaming and explaining. But you move in silence and fix things at the root. While they're yelling about the fire, you're quietly cutting off the fuel. That's sovereignty, that's leadership, and in relationships, that's the trait that makes you irresistible not to everyone, but to the right kind of people. Women can sense when a man refuses to blame the world. A man who handles his storms without projecting them. One who doesn't crumble at discomfort, but adapts to it. You want to be deeply respected. Be the one who handles pressure like it's personal. Not because you caused it, but because you'll never let it define you. The man who masters this mindset doesn't just overcome his battles. He absorbs them, transforms them, turns every emotional wound into a weapon, a lesson, a sharpened edge. Someone says you're not good enough. You use it as fuel. You don't spiral, you don't shrink, you take a breath and you level up. That's not ego. That's emotional engineering. That's how you become a man people can't throw off balance, because they can't access the levers that once pulled you apart. Now let's be clear about something. You will get hit. Life will disrespect you. There will be betrayal, loss, rejection, mockery, chaos, just like everyone else. The difference is in how you frame it. Someone controlled by victimhood says, "This is happening to me." The man living by Machiavellian principles says, "This is happening for me." Not in some spiritual bypass way. He's just looking for angles, leverage, insight. Whatever life throws, he throws something back tenfold. And that mindset creates an emotional posture most men never access. It's not fake positivity. It's not denial. It's choosing to get sharper instead of softer. To get colder when necessary, not out of cruelty, but out of clarity. You're not here to be liked by everyone. You're not here to play in safe spaces and comfort zones. You're here to forge something untouchable. So no more victim language. No more hoping for apologies, fairness, or closure. Take your power back. Take the pain and craft it into presence. Let the betrayals upgrade your discernment. Let the delays teach you patience under pressure. Every scar carries data that most people never unlock. because they stare at the wound instead of studying the forge that created it. And when you live like this, people notice. They watch how you carry yourself through adversity, how you speak when stakes are high, how quickly you recover, and most importantly, how little you pity yourself. That's what makes you emotionally bulletproof. Not the armor, the asterisk ownership asterisk under it. Asterisk asterisk refuse victimhood, and the world can no longer touch you. Asterisk asterisk, one of the most underrated and overexposed sources of weakness in a man's life is his openness, what he shares with whom and how often. In today's culture, we've been told that vulnerability is strength, that being transparent makes us relatable, and that openness is the currency of connection. And to an extent, yes, a strategic vulnerability can create intimacy. But every piece of information you give away is also leverage in someone else's hands. And in a Machiavellian mindset, leverage is everything. The more people know, the more ways they can predict, pressure, or pivot you in directions that serve their motives, not yours. Power doesn't always come from having the loudest voice. Often, it comes from what you withhold. The ability to move in silence, to remain composed when others would vent, explode, or expose themselves, is a mark of control that most never reach. Most people are addicted to validation. They feel an urge to post every win, explain every loss, and overexpress every emotion. But here's the truth. If everyone knows what you're thinking, what you're planning, and how you're feeling, you've rendered yourself predictable. And the predictable man is easy to disarm. Emotional bulletproofing isn't just about what you feel internally. It's about what you show externally. In high-stakes environments, whether it's in relationships, business, or life, mystery wins. Unreadability becomes your armor. Emotional camouflage doesn't mean you don't feel anything. It means you're selective about who sees the full landscape. Not everyone has earned that access, and not everyone will. The person who can keep their mouth shut, especially when provoked, is more powerful than the person who always has something to prove. Think about how many people destroy relationships, ruin deals, or sabotage rapport because they overshare. They can't hold the silence too long without filling it. They're constantly explaining themselves, trying to justify their existence, or blurting out their pain in hopes that someone else will carry it for them. All of that is weakness disguised as self-expression. And it doesn't mean you have to be fake. It means you have to be disciplined. The man who is emotionally disciplined doesn't tell the world his every intention because he knows that most people will only consider how it affects them. They're not there to support your vision. They're there to mirror their fears or limitations onto it. They'll chip away at it with subtle doubt, sneaky competitiveness, or false encouragement wrapped in flattery. And sometimes they'll use your own story to spin a narrative that benefits their interests, not yours. When that happens, it's not betrayal, it's strategy failing. Because you gave them the blueprint. In a Machiavellian mindset, privacy is protection. Keeping your internal state sacred gives you time to process, plan, and pivot without pressure. It allows you to reshape failure in silence, to sharpen your weapons while others think you're doing nothing. You become harder to disrupt because no one knows what's actually going on behind your eyes. You could be planning your next big move or just watching everything play out, but no one can read it. And in that uncertainty, they lose advantage. They either overspeak, overreach, or underestimate you, all of which work in your favor. People panic when they don't have access to your internal world because that's how they form control. That's how they seduce, manipulate, or guilt you. They say, "Talk to me," not because they truly care, but because they want insight, intel, and if you're not careful, you'll hand them a loaded weapon and call it intimacy. Understand this: silence doesn't mean shutdown. It means selection. You select who gets to see your mind, your pain, your intentions, and access is earned, not assumed. This applies even more in emotionally charged situations. When you're dealing with conflict, chaos, or crises, people will try to extract your emotional state. They want to know if they've rattled you, gotten under your skin, broken your balance. Don't give them that satisfaction. Keep your body language composed, your tone even, your words measured. That restraint makes you unreadable, therefore unshakable. And that posture makes you look 10 times stronger than any emotional outburst could ever achieve. Remember, the man who can't hold his emotions in check becomes a slave to the one who knows how to manipulate them. Guarding your internal world doesn't make you disconnected. It makes you dangerous in the best possible way. Not because you're looking to hurt others, but because nobody can get into your head unless you leave the door wide open. You want to be respected in the room the moment you walk in. Stop broadcasting everything. You want your presence to command attention. Make people wonder what you're really thinking, what you're really capable of. Don't speak to impress. Move with intent. Let your actions unfold without needing to narrate every chapter of your journey. There's nothing more powerful than a man who can feel everything, yet say almost nothing, not because he's empty, but because he's full enough not to leak. And in that silence, people will see it. They'll sense it. They'll learn to tread carefully, not because you threatened them, but because your emotional privacy has become your perimeter. And that's how respect is built, not through exposure, but through containment. Move in silence, and the world will never see you coming. There's a freedom most people will never taste because they spend their entire lives chasing something that was never meant to be. External validation. From the time we're young, we're trained to look outward to feel inward. Approval from teachers, affirmation from friends, praise from parents, applause from the world. Social media has only intensified this need, turning likes and views into counterfeit currency for self-worth. But here's the truth that cuts through all the noise. The man who depends on others to validate him has already surrendered control. And a man who surrenders control can never be untouchable. The Machiavellian mindset isn't about proving your value to the world. It's about knowing your value so deeply, so steadily, that the world's opinion becomes background noise. Whether they cheer for you or mock you, it doesn't shift your posture or your pace. You move with purpose just like before because the mission comes from within, not from applause. That's self-sourced validation, and it's the trait that allows you to walk through fire and remain composed. When your confidence comes from within, people feel it immediately. You're not trying to be liked. You're not seeking attention. You don't need the spotlight because you've already lit the fire yourself. That confidence isn't loud either. It's calm. It walks into a room and doesn't need to say a word to be noticed. Why? Because it's real, because it's not dependent on compliments or acceptance. You've burned through all the performance, all the posturing, and what remains is something no one can touch, sovereignty. But self-sourced validation doesn't come easy. It's not something you wake up with one day. It's built in darkness. It's built in those moments when no one is clapping, when no one is believing in you, when no one is watching, and you show up anyway. It's forged in solitude, shaped in setbacks, and sealed through discipline. It's knowing you're enough, even when you're overlooked, written off, or doubted. Especially then, that's where most men fold. The moment the world doesn't react the way they want, they shrink. The moment a woman doesn't validate them, they question everything. The moment they aren't praised for progress, they lose momentum. Why? Because they're still addicted to external permission. And as long as you're chasing external permission, you're playing someone else's game. They decide if you win, and even if they give you a win today, they can take it tomorrow. The whole system is unstable. Think about it. What happens if your identity is built on attention, and that attention disappears? What happens if your value is built on performance, and a bad week knocks you off course? You spiral. You start grasping at opinions, trying to fix how others see you instead of anchoring deeper in how you see yourself. That's not confidence. That's dependence dressed up as charisma. You want to be emotionally bulletproof. Break the addiction to being understood, to being admired, to being seen a certain way. When someone praises you, let it bounce. When they criticize you, let it pass. Neither should define you. Neither should hold weight that surpasses your own internal compass. People will misunderstand you. They'll underestimate you. Some will adore you. Others will resent you. And none of it has anything to do with your actual worth. It's all perception, and perception is unstable. But your internal standard, that can be engineered. That can be trained. That can become fortress. Level strong. You do that by deciding who you are and living in alignment with that decision, regardless of external noise. You wake up and move toward your goals without waiting for someone to hand you approval along the path. You show up even when the room is quiet, even when you're doubting yourself, even when no one's watching, especially then, because those moments are what build the core. When your validation is internal, life gets quieter in the best way. There's no pressure to perform. There's no obsession with being seen. You stop playing to the crowd and start playing to the mission. Relationships become cleaner too, because you no longer need someone to complete you. You can appreciate them without clinging to them. You're not dating out of fear or connection, desperation, or needing constant affirmation. You're choosing people because they align, not because you need them to compensate for something missing inside. This is the liberating power most men never access. They think strength comes from dominance or being loud, from flexing muscles or money or achievements. But all of that can be stripped in an instant. All of that can be shaken depending on who's watching. Real strength. It comes from a quiet, unmovable truth that even if everything was taken, even if no one was watching, even if tomorrow you had to start again from the ground up, you'd still believe in yourself. Not because the world told you to, but because you decided to. That is what makes you untouchable. That is what makes you bulletproof. Not the armor on the outside, but the engine on the inside that doesn't require applause to stay running. Be your own source, and nothing outside you can break you.